everyone, it's me, Elaine from Nabi Wool Studio, and I know it's been a very, very long time, but I'm back. Um, I'm doing a very short episode. This one will not have a lot of show and tell and stuff, but just a little catch up and not a catch up from when I last spoke with you all because that was a long time ago. I'll touch on some of the things, but I just wanted to get back to say hello since it is the new year, new decade, right? And I do miss doing this, and I miss everyone here. Although I am very out of practice, and again, the nerves have settled and have stopped me several times from doing this. But I have some news and stuff like that, so I just want to make sure that I do this and get myself back into it, and hopefully try again to be on some sort of schedule. It's very difficult. Things have been kind of crazy in my house for the past few months, also, which has also made everything different for me as far as my schedule goes. But anyway, doesn't matter. Here I am. It's January. Today is the 12th, and I'm back. And the big announcement is that I am going to VKL. I'm going to be at Vogue Knitting Live this year for the first time, and I'm super, super excited about it. A little nervous, but it's going to be a crazy schedule. But I am going to be at Mayak first on Thursday night for a night to remember with Olga Jazzy, Lina, and Jennifer Steingass. And then I will be there at Vogue Knitting Live on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so if you see me, please say hello and introduce yourselves if I don't know who you are. And would love to see all of you guys there. And let me know if you're going to be there. Put it in the comments or somehow send me a message, I guess. So let's just have a quick recap of 2019. It was a complicated year for me, I feel. The knitting community kind of went through a bunch of different things which affected me greatly, I have to say. I had many wonderful moments in 2019, but some moments that were a little rougher than others, I guess. And some of the highlights were that I was at EYF, and I also went to Shetland, the tour run by Mary Jane and Gudrun Johnson. Met some wonderful people there who I will always count as my dear, dear friends. I also went to the Liner Retreat in France, and both trips to Shetland and to the Liner Retreat did not have a suitcase. My suitcase did not make it there. The Liner Retreat, basically the entire week, I had no suitcase. It was sort of a little hellish. But anyway, I had a wonderful time. At all the events, basically. With UIF, it was great to see people I have met before. It was great to meet new people. And at Lino, it was basically a reunion of friends from the last trip and some new friends. And yeah, it was all fun. So anyway, I did finish a crazy amount of knitwear in 2019. I made 43 sweaters. Um, One of them was not for me, but the rest were. Uh, I'm not actually sure how I did it myself. That's not just sweaters. I did some hats, I did some socks, I did mittens. I don't know, I must have a knitting elf somewhere. But I do love all the things that I made, and not all of them have been shown yet because not everything has been released. So if you look back on my Instagram, you might not see all of them yet. Some will be coming out now. And yeah, so that's that. 2020 is starting out pretty good so far, I guess. The weather has been sort of weird. It's not really winter here. Lucky enough, we've been getting some sun. Lots of crazy fog also. My kids and my husband are skiing, so I have this opportunity to chat really quickly with you guys before the rest of my day goes on. And I will actually be flying out on Tuesday to the States and getting a little bit of adjustment to the time and seeing my parents for a little bit and getting a little rest before the craziness starts. So anyway, I will talk about a whip here. And then show you some FOs because I have to decide which sweaters to bring with me. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my Nordiska Caitlin Hunter Boiling Knitworks, and this is one of the 43 sweaters I completed. And there'll be no show notes, by the way, for this episode. I am actually I've been crazy busy, and anything that makes it more complicated than recording this will stop me from doing this episode. And I actually don't even know if this is going to be put on anyway, because I always sometimes change my mind when it comes time to upload. So right now I am working on a hat. It's called a Sarma hat, I believe, and it is a design from I Sang Knits on Instagram. And I'm using a good neutral. This is Pearl Soho's good wool. It's I've been using Pearl Soho good wool for a lot of things. They have some really nice natural colors, and it's a good yarn to work with, and I really like it, and I think it's pretty reasonable also. So it's been really used a lot lately. And then I am using my mohair. This is Nabi Wool Studio. It's the mohair silk, and it is really fun to work with. I've been doing a lot of stuff with mohair, I have to say. I have not listed any in my shop. I don't know why, but I just haven't. And so if you are interested in some of the mohairs that I've been using, please just send me a message through Etsy, and I can figure out whatever. I think I have 5 hanks of this 50-gram mohair, if anybody's interested in that, after they see what I've done. So I'm making the Sarma hat, which is the matching pattern for a pair of mittens that she has designed. And here is my whip so far. So it's a beautiful pattern. Let me show you the other side actually. So it is bobbles with mohair. So stranded mohair that you make bobbles with. And then it's cabling and twisted rib, and it's just beautiful. And it's memorizable. So it's been easy to just sort of sit and knit this while I am watching TV or whatever. I don't have to stare at a piece of paper, or now lately I've been using my computer because I don't have access to a printer. So a lot of things are a little bit harder for me now to knit because I don't have printouts. But, oh, so now I'm dropping yarn. Hold on a sec. So that's the mohair and Pearl Soho. And the color, the Pearl Soho is winter grass, I believe is the color. Yeah, winter grass. So some things that I'm gonna give you a little bit of a peek. This is a whip that I'm working on. It's with Caitlin Boiling Knitworks, and it is the Galistio Tunic. So I think she's planning the release the day before VKL starts. So I am trying to knit like the wind to have mine finished so I can maybe wear it the first day of VKL. If not the first day, maybe the second, but at some point during VKL. I don't see it to be a problem, but I do have a bunch of other things that are on my schedule, so it depends on how everything kind of plays out. Another one of the hats that I finished last year is this one from Yuko Shimizu. This is the Sunburst hat, and it uses Aran weight yarn. And so this is all in the Bee Wool Studio. This is Juicy and Kyanite. This is just a neutral I have, and this brown, which is sort of like cocoa, but not quite. This is something I dyed before that I made for myself. Scrubs. So that's that, and I really love this hat. I also will most definitely be wearing Bright Feather, which is this, and the color is not showing up very well, unfortunately. This is a Jen Steingass Knit Love Wool, and it is not the most recent release. It was the release a month or two ago. So I will wear that to VKL. So look for that if you want to see that in person. It's using Blissfully Yours as my main color and Cocoa on Mohair Hill Double for the contrast color. And I am also going to wear my Angle, which I really, really am absolutely in love with. This is Boiling Knitworks, Caitlin Hunter, and this is all Nabi Wool Studio yarn again. And I just love everything about it. The design was incredible to knit. It was really fast, and I actually had almost a finished one before this, but I wasn't really happy with the way the fabric was. And what is really rare for me is to rip out something. Usually I just let it go and I leave it, but I really wanted one that I was going to really enjoy wearing a lot, and the colors were completely different, but this was the yarn that I felt created the fabric I wanted. And the yellow here was actually, it's like a single ply almost, so I held it with mohair on the body, but not right the ribbing here, so there would be no scratch whatsoever, or no, not as much fuzz flying into my mouth, but I felt that the mohair would make this more durable and not as pilly. And I will definitely wear this, which I don't want to show quite yet because it's not out yet, but this is my veer. And this is a new design from Erie that I do believe is going to come out during VKL, or maybe the beginning of VKL, and that is a collaboration. She designed that with Kokon yarn, and I did all that. I did my version with Nabi Wool Studio. It's a chunky mohair, and it's light as a feather. It was so fun to knit. The stitches are very different. In the veer is Dutch for feather, and in the feathers it was really fun to make, and you can totally customize it yourself because you can place it where she says to place it, but you can also add more or less or whatever, more colors, less colors. It was really, really fun. So lately I've been doing a lot of different tests. I think I'm trying to slow down on my testing schedule. I say this all the time. It's gotten a little bit beyond crazy, to be honest. I mean, if 43 sweaters isn't a sign of that, I need to start slowing down just because it is really exhausting, and also a little bit rough on my arms and my hands. And I do have a lot of patterns that I've purchased that I really, really want to make, and the testing schedule is basically stopping me from doing that. So one of the things that I really would love to finish is my ranunculus, which is basically, I mean, it's really easy knitting at this point, but I just don't have the time to get to it because of my testing schedule. And this is something I've wanted to have for forever, and I really need to get back to that. I've also been on the Fiber Company beta knitting team, and I finished Sea Cross was the first one that I did, and now I just finished the one sweater in the DK version, and it is really one of those sweaters that I put on all the time, and it's just so easy, and it's just a basic sweater, and the yarn that you pick really um, makes it shine. Basically, it just features the yarn. So I made mine with Aaron Moore Light, and the tweeds and um, all the different colors in the tweeds are really, it's so beautiful, and you should look for that. Also, I think next week it releases, maybe. I have a lot of things that I've tested that are releasing soon, so you'll see a lot of things. And then I am making Newland, which is I've just started, which is here with Road to China, and Road to China really is, it's super luxurious, I have to say. I started it originally the way that the design was written with an I-cord hem. I really don't enjoy. Uh, I don't like wearing I-cord stuff, so I at first was going to just stick with the pattern, but I decided after doing half of it that I was not happy with it, and so I've decided to cast on again. I did a tubular cast on with 2x2 rib, so I'm going to start. I started it again basically, and we'll go from there. It's a short sleeve sweater, and with some lace on the top. So the beginning part is going to be really easy, so I should be able to fly through that. And we'll see. I think it's going to come out in March, but I'm not sure. So I have some time to work on that. But basically, I just wanted to get back to this to say hello to everybody again. Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a great holiday at the end of the year, whichever holiday you celebrate. And that 2020 will be the start of a wonderful new year and a wonderful decade. And that we'll have lots more adventures together. And hopefully, you can come by and say hello to me if you see me at Vogue Knitting Live, or if you see me at MyAc, and I'm not sure what other knitting events I will be at this year, because the schedule has sort of changed with the EYF not being on the schedule. I'm really quite sad about that. I I really think it'll be greatly missed this year, and I really hope that for sure it will be again happening in 2021, and you can definitely count on me being there for that. So I hope that this one was okay. I know it's a little different from what I normally do, sort of. I don't know, you get all my weirdnesses anyway. It's not as much show and tell, but there are lots of things coming, and I don't know if I will surpass 43 sweaters. I know Kay, if you watch this or are listening or whatever, 50 probably is not going to happen, but I'll never say never. And I hope to see you guys again soon here, if not at VKL. Bye.